Hey guys, it's Theodore here, and in this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. First of all, as you've probably already noticed, it's going to be animated in a different style. Yusuf is my animator, and he's been animating a ton of past videos on the channel, and he's learning a new style, so let me know at the end of this video what you think of it. Secondly, the title of this video is what you learn traveling around the world. However, I haven't traveled the world yet. One of my writers, Megan, has though. Megan is an absolutely great writer and has been on the team for about a year. She's been freelancing online while being a digital nomad all over the world, and well, I'll just let her tell you.
Hey, my name is Megan Okonski, a traveler, writer, and yoga teacher from Philadelphia. I just got back home from over a year abroad and wanted to share a few insights for people who might be thinking about long-term travel. Here's a quick background for you. After a 3-month backpacking trip through Europe, I decided that I would save up some cash and take the plunge with the digital nomad lifestyle. After 6 weeks of backpacking through Asia with my best friend, I began freelancing and decided to move to Australia for a year on a working holiday visa. Between the time that I left home and the time that I got back, I spent 16 months in 8 different countries, working in retail, freelancing, and exploring the world. My journeys are far from over, but I thought it would be a good time to reflect on what I learned after a year of traveling. So without further ado, here's a sneak peek of the knowledge and skills you might gain after a year of traveling the world. Lesson number 1. Just getting around. Sure, there are a lot of wanderlusty elements to traveling the world, but unless you have quite a bit of cash, I did not, you will have to do a lot of travel on your own. And when it comes down to it, travel requires a lot of life skills that you have to sometimes develop on the fly, pun very much intended. One of the most daunting parts of traveling is physically getting from point A to point B. So you've flown into the Kuala Lumpur airport. Now how do you get to your hostel? You're ready to move on from Kuala Lumpur and you've heard about a cool island called Langkawi. What do you need to do to get there? Google Maps has become my best friend abroad, whether I want to walk the night market or take a metro to my hotel. Other travelers and locals are also great resources for the best ferry companies to book with, or whether the train or the bus is the easier option. Nowadays, we also have a lot of online resources, including blogs, that give you all the information you need to get where you need to go. Public transportation can be daunting, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than taking Ubers or taxis everywhere. Again, learning how to figure out train schedules or where to buy a bus pass are pretty crucial life skills. And when you get home, everything else seems less scary. If you can navigate the city of Vienna with a metro system that is entirely in German, you'll feel pretty confident that you can do just about anything. Lesson number 2, there are so many wonderful people on our planet. When I think about my favorite cities, I think about Edinburgh, Brisbane, and Penang. In Edinburgh, I was able to check out the Fringe Festival and the beautiful architecture, but my favorite memory from that city was running into friends that I had met in Ireland and taking a spontaneous trip to an art museum with them. Brisbane doesn't have the top tourist attractions in Australia, but I was able to form very close relationships with friends and musicians that I met at shows. I visited Penang 3 times with 3 different groups of people. Every time I had Wi-Fi problems and I had trouble working, but every time I could always count on going to Love Lane and introducing my new friends to my favorite bartender, who always greeted me with a big smile. Bucket list items and beautiful sights certainly give you a reason to visit a new country or city, but often it's the people that you meet that will help you create warm and fuzzy memories of your travels. A night in with hostel roommates laughing over a cheap box of wine may be just as special as seeing ancient temples in Thailand or holding a koala. Lesson number 3, you don't have to travel solo. Let's go back to talking about life skills for a minute. I spent a majority of my 16 months abroad, quote unquote, alone. I say it like that because although there were many moments where I was alone on different tours or traveling to different cities, there were also many times when I spontaneously traveled with people that I met on my journey. I bought a car in New Zealand with a girl that I met in Malaysia. The 2 of us traveled from the North Island to the South Island with a crew of boys that we met along the way. After that, I arrived in Melbourne by myself, but I left with 3 of my roommates as we took a road trip up to Byron Bay. Back in Europe, I went to a music festival with a friend from college and a guy that she met on Reddit. I'm not kidding. And we all traveled through Poland together. You'll be surprised at how easy it is to meet and become friends with travelers while you're traveling solo. When I arrived in a hostel in the Cameron Highlands, I walked up to a group of guests and asked them what they were doing for dinner. A few days later, I took a bus to Penang with 3 of the guys from the hostel, and then continued on my travels to Langkawi with one of them. Are you nervous about traveling solo? Don't worry. You'll find that before long, you'll be begging to get some alone time. Lesson number 4. You'll be surprised at what you're capable of. I remember sitting in a hostel in Bristol, trying to build up the courage to go downstairs and meet new people. Fast forward to my time in Byron Bay, when I departed from my friends and craved some time by myself. I walked into the lobby of the Byron hostel and told myself with full confidence, I'll just make some friends when I feel like it. In a year of traveling, planning trips, navigating the world, meeting new people, and crossing items off of your bucket list, you come a long way. I worked and lived in a working hostel in Melbourne where many travelers began a year-long journey through Australia. I watched travelers who were 18 or 19 apply for and get jobs, travel a new country, and figure out taxes in a foreign place. My road trip buddy in New Zealand hadn't owned a car before our trip, much less knew how to jumpstart said car when she discovered the battery died. Don't worry, we figured it out. When you travel for a year, you have a lot of opportunities to face your fears and challenge what you believe you are capable of. And now that I'm home, I can reflect on those opportunities and ask myself, what's next?
So, as we end this video, let me know what you think of this new animation style, and also check out some of Megan's adventures on her Instagram below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.